Rossford wrestler Zoe Hussar has experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in the past year. This is a story of triumph in the face of life's most difficult challenges, and for the first time, she is sharing her story. This is the place where Zoe Hussar feels most comfortable. It's the wrestling room at Rossford High School. In her young wrestling career, she's already accomplished a ton on the mat, but her journey here has been filled with pain. Back in June of 2012, when Zoe was 9, she says she was at a friend's house when she was sexually assaulted by an adult.
I knew it wasn't right at the time, but also at the time I didn't really know what sex was. I didn't know what any of that really was. Like, I was a young kid, but I knew it wasn't right, and I knew how my parents would react, and I knew, like, they're the most supportive, protective parents on the planet, so I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble because, you know, he'd never really told me, like, oh, don't say anything, but I just knew, like, it was kind of a given, like, you don't talk about it.
It took her almost 10 years to speak out, but last year she informed her parents what happened. While watching the trial for Larry Nassar, who was found guilty of sexually abusing gymnasts over the span of 2 decades, the painful memories all came flooding back.
It was just a lot of emotions all the time, and then, you know, feeling like it was my fault, feeling like, you know, like, oh God, I don't want a boyfriend, like, I'm gross, I'm this, and like low self-esteem and all this. But after I told my parents, it helped, and I think a lot of girls need to realize that, like, you can come forward and help tell, no matter how late it is.
As a dad, how do you handle that? I don't know that I know how to handle it yet. So, you know, we talk about it. She knows that I got her back no matter what, but it's difficult. I don't know that I've handled it really yet.
This past December, the man that Hussar accused was found not guilty on the rape charge from 2012, but Hussar wasn't the only one to come forward. He was found guilty of gross sexual imposition with another young girl and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Hussar testified in that trial and was happy that some justice was served.
It was hard, but I think it was the best thing for me to go and testify and be able to tell my story, because for so long I was embarrassed by it, but at the end of the day it's a part of me and it's made me who I am, so I'm not grateful for it, but it's a bittersweet thing because I wouldn't be who I am today.
The wrestling mat has always been her escape from reality. She can dominate here, and she did just that at the state championships recently. Her dad is her coach, but he stepped aside to watch, and he let his assistants take over. He wanted to enjoy this moment as a dad, and while she was down 5-0 going into the final period, she found a way to rally back. Zoe shocked everyone and found a way to come out with a state championship.
Like, just the year that I had, and then the past couple, like, state tournaments, and just knowing that through all of the bad things that I had go through this year, like, I could still rise above it and come out with a win, because I wanted it so bad.
I don't know that I've ever felt that much joy, because she's been through a lot and she's worked really hard. So, you know, in wrestling, you get kind of what you earn. You know, you don't really deserve anything, and I believe she earned it.
Zoe's story doesn't end there. She was also recently named the homecoming queen at Rossford, and she will continue her wrestling career in college at Siena Heights.
And really important to show why we need to talk about these stories, the Larry Nassar kind of stuff. It allowed her to come out, and now for her to share her story maybe will help someone else.
Yeah, I mean, she's a strong kid, there's no question, and that was, as she said, it was a trigger for her. When she started seeing that and seeing that other people were comfortable talking about it and being able to come out, it made her feel comfortable to be able to share her story. And obviously, there's still some healing to be done, but it's a tough thing, but she was glad to share her story, so maybe it'll help somebody else.
Big moment for Dad, big moment for her as well. Teammates embracing, what was the reaction?
Yeah, for sure. I think when she won the state championship, her dad said he didn't want to be involved in the actual match, so the assistant coaches handled everything for the state championship match. She was down 5-0. She actually chose a position that she wasn't supposed to, and Dad was like, oh no, what's going on? Why are you doing this? But he sat back as a dad. She rallied back. She found a way to win, and as he said, it was an unbelievably emotional moment when she won the state championship.
Unbelievable story.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jordan.